Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for joining our presentation today. Today's presentation is about wearable technology and privacy. To make it very clear, our argument today is individuals' privacy requires respect from wearable makers and strict control by legislators. Wearable device is booming in recent years. It has been a total number of $14 billion worth of sales in 2014. And in just a decade, it is predicted to be astonishing $70 billion. 1 in 5 Americans own some type of wearable devices, which includes smart glasses, smartwatches, fitness bands, and smart clothing. Google Glass is an example of smart glasses. And this is Apple Watch. Our most personal device yet. It is an amazing personal device that you might be wearing every day. A survey showed that nearly 1 in 2 customers are likely to buy one wearable device in the next 12 months. 45% of them will be buying fitness bands. In regard to the cost, everything costs money. Most customers are interested in low-priced or free wearables. More than 60% of consumers prefer to receive free wearables from their employees or insurance in exchange of sending their anonymous data to a pool. Why could these companies provide free wearable devices? Because the data collected by the wearable devices are actually cost more, worth more money than the devices itself. This brings up the issue of privacy, which is the main concern about wearable technology for the users. We are generating data while we are using these devices. This data may contain your heartbeat, boom, 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 your location, and your movement like this. Most of the time, the data will be transferred to somewhere in the cloud. Then the data will be out of your control. You don't know what they are going to do with your data and what happens next. They might be potentially sold to a third party. And that turns into money. It's going to be heaps of money. How unethical those monies are.
Well, that's totally true. More than the consumers do not want to share the data, especially health data or fitness data. As you can see, more than the 43%, and every 1 people in 4 people about fitness. Even in the social media. So, while wearable technology provokes curiosity, and at the same time, at extra convenience, enhance human lives, actually, they also come with a privacy concern. So let's look at the Google Glass case.
The explosive growth of wearable devices has also brought with it privacy concerns. According to a new report by Korea's National Information Society Agency, there are mounting fears of misuse or abuse of information, as wearable devices are able to collect a variety of personal information regardless of place or time. Front and center is Google Glass, which can record everything in view and share it in an instant. The product's facial recognition app, NameTag, is also raising alarms as a user can get their hands on personal information, including a person's name and their photos on social media, just by taking a photo of them. A U.S. senator has already called on Google to come up with measures so that the application only identifies people who have given the permission to do so.
Okay, so that doesn't sound that cool, right? And what if I tell you something else? Let's go deeper into your intimacy. What about if I tell you that even your personal sexual life can be compromised and shared in the web? That easy, because of the use of these devices. How? By the data provided by your heartbeat, as Daniel explained. These can be recorded by your device, and they will know when you are doing stuff. So this data can be collected and abused for a third party, of course. And that's not cool. So no wonder if next day you will find a lot of junk email on your inbox about this kind of publicity, and you don't know, wow, I didn't visit those sites, So what is this going about? It's because of this. So for example, Fitbit, which is a really popular fitness band, no one is going to concern about that. Now you have to be careful, maybe need more careful about when you are creating your profile on the site, because the data can be easily found just using Google. Meaning that these users' profiles are no longer private. So to combat such problems, we need regulations. Regulations plays an important role in protecting individuals' privacy. So here, I will proudly present to you the regulations related to wearable technologies. Yes, there is no legislation yet. And to confirm this, let's see what our teacher says.
As far as I know, in Australia, there's been no specific rulings made about wearable devices.
Okay, so thank you, Martin. We're not lying. That's the truth. We do all our research. Okay, so why is this? While wearable technology is rising really fast, legislators are far behind. This happens because technology is unexpected and cannot be measured. You don't know what's going on tomorrow and how fast they go. So they try to make a law, but it's already there. So they try to move, okay, they jump to another place. So it's hard to control this. The only existing regulation that so far we can have, and in Australia, not in other countries, it's the Australian Privacy Principles, which stands the APP, which is a fact sheet that provides text of 13 principles or regulations for privacy amendment. These documents aim to enhance privacy protection, but still need to be updated and working a bit more because it just came last year and this is changing really quick. This is just one of the 13, number 6 exactly, so you can see. So as a conclusion, again, I will just tell you our argument concerns about the privacy for individuals regarding respect and transparency from wearable makers and strict control of legislators. So first, wearable technology is booming. We all know that, it's pretty clear. But consumers remain concerned about their privacy, because some of the examples we just gave it to you, there are just some. Companies should be open about the use of their data, what is being collected, and why is this needed. So they just need to be more transparent and tell the customer the real situation and what's happening. Because since there is no regulation, they can do whatever they want with their data. And finally, legislators should keep up with a wearable technology development. I know it's hard, I know it's unpredictable, but they should try to work somehow together with companies or device makers to reduce this gap between both of them. That's our presentation for this night. Thank you very much. Questions?
Fantastic presentation. This one has universal presentation, but it's really
Oh. Daniel.
Sorry? I'm sorry. What was your question again?
I said, what software do you guys use for this?
Apple Keynote. Yes.
Your second point in the summary, companies should be open about what user data is being collected and why this is needed. Aren't companies being open about that? It's just that we're not reading it?
Not completely. Not completely, because they're not saying what are they doing with your data.
But if I had a clause saying, I'm taking your data and I'm going to do whatever I like, which is what they basically say.
Well, there is no regulation, so they are not promising you that that data is yours. There is actually an article that says who belongs the data to? The one that is generating the data or the one that is gathering the data? So, of course, they are using this to make more apps based on what they are getting. So that makes that that means that they are making profit of that. And sometimes even worse, they can just sell it to a third party, you know, because they want to see something.
Yep, which is what they tell us they're doing.
That's what they are guessing. They are not saying exactly what are they doing. They are not saying that. That's why there is a lot of controversy with the privacy in these devices.
No more questions? Yes.
How about legislation or governments for the technologies emerging instead of putting governments or policy on the organization on how to deal with data, how governments on the technology, how the technology should be done, how the technology should be evolved. And I get the bit that access can, can compute the data and present the if there is a legislation that says Fitbit will compute the data, but it's only the user, not the organization. How about that? Should there be a policy where they say the technology, how the technology should evolve instead of how the organization should use the data?
You want to take that? Well, if I get your question, you're asking us how should they do it?
Should there be a policy on the evolution of the technology? As you said,
Yeah, this is the thing. There is not yet a document, a legislated document that states that, because technology evolves too quick. You know, it takes time to make a law. So they are making the law, and then it changes. So this document does not replace the law. It's like a guide, you know. It just came out in March of 2014, yeah? And it tried to help. So there is no specific legislation for wearable devices. So what they do, what lawyers do, it's just they try to play as they do. They try to read and manage these laws and try to get something, but there is nothing stated. Canada, as I think was last week or 2 weeks ago, we already have an example about how in Canada they are ahead in these things. But there is no legislation yet. So if you're asking us how they should do it, I can just give an advice so far, that they should be involved for both. I mean, for the good of the customers, you know, just trying to be careful about the privacy on the data.
Yes, please.
What happens if the legislator is too deep with the technology? Do you think that will be like any other users of the
Well, most of the people, the data that we just showed to you was the customer that already has the devices. There is also another fact that 40% of the people that already has quit using this device. For two reasons. Maybe they didn't like it, and the second one because they are worried about this concern. And the other half, or the other 3/1, they would like to have a device, but they are not sure, and they said, okay, if I'm generating this data, and I don't know what's happening with that because I'm not getting that. And even if they give it to you, you wouldn't know what to do with that data. You know, you need someone else to process that data. So they are asking for free. And it's like, okay, if you're gonna make money about my heart condition or what I do, my stamina, whatever the devices track from your body, okay, you will then have it for free because you are giving them some data to develop more applications and more wearables, and they are making money selling those. So yes, it will be more people that will use these devices.
Hi, please.
Have there been any recent cases around privacy breaches that you know of with wearable technology that anyone's actually complained
Like the example we give you about Google Glasses?
Similar, but more with Fitbit and...
Well, actually, there was an accusation, not in this country, where we get this article about the sexual activity because they can really track. So they were trying to get into a demand, but the lawyers didn't know how to take this data because there was nothing that can support this. But there was in the newspapers, New York Times.
From the activity that they're tracking, how do they discern specifically what the activity is?
Because they know, they can translate this because your heartbeats. There are some sensors that there is not a normal activity, not a physical activity. I don't know, it's scientific, we didn't go that deep in those concerns, but they know how, because they have your normal data, you know? So when you get into those special activities, it changes something, so they can know. And then it's like, oh, okay, this time in this place, because they know also the location. That can be a bit bad for your privacy, right? I don't know, married people.
We need to wind up there. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone want the $100? Please come to collect it.